Well, it's 9 a.m. on Pacific time. It's 12 p.m. Eastern time, and all the other times in the middle and on other sides. Wherever you are in the world, it's time to sing some songs. Actually, but before we get singing, what's different about red today? Is it my shirt? I sometimes wear a yellow shirt, mostly red, but sometimes I wear a yellow shirt, sometimes I wear a blue shirt. It's not my shirt. Is it my hat? Well, I usually wear a red hat. I have a whole collection of hats because, keep my head from the sun. But red is the one I usually wear here, right? Is it my glasses? No, they're the regular ones. What is it? What is it that's different about red today? Huh? What can you see? Does anybody know? Has anybody noticed? What's red? What's different about red? Yep. I've got a big Band-Aid on my nose, don't I? Yeah. I went to the doctor yesterday and he had to take a little thing out of my nose to do a little test. And they put a Band-Aid on it. And then I thought, well, I don't know. So I came home and I found, actually they put something like this on it. It's a little tiny little, it's a little one, right? And it's clear except for the pad. But the nose is kind of pointy on the end and it doesn't stay on very well and it's all bunched up and everything. So I didn't go with that. Then I looked at this one and it's kind of a medium-sized Band-Aid, but it takes up a lot of space on the nose, right? So this morning I said, well, what am I going to wear this morning? We have a red box of special Band-Aids. And I had a choice. I could either do rainbows or I could do narwhals, which are whales that have a kind of a pointed tusk on them. Have you ever seen a narwhal? I've seen pictures of them. And then there was the one that I chose, which is like balloons. Right? So the funny thing is, it's not so funny sometimes, when we look different, like I look different than myself normally today, when we look different, sometimes we feel funny about that. Right? What are people going to say? They're not going to see my nose. They're going to see a Band-Aid, a yellow Band-Aid. And we can feel a little funny about that. But being different, and there's lots of ways that we're going to be different. Sometimes we're different because we're really good at something, a lot better than the people around us. Maybe we're super good at math, or maybe we're super good at drawing, or maybe we're really fast running. Now, sometimes people think that's great, but sometimes people don't know what to do when we're different. Or maybe one of our legs doesn't work so well, right? Or there's all kinds of ways we're different. Of course, our hearts are all the same. Everyone. All the differences in the world don't affect our hearts, right? We can make a big difference when people are different by how we react, how we interact with them. Yeah. I mean, of course, when you see somebody with like a Band-Aid on their nose, you're curious. Well, what's that about? And you can ask questions. What's that about? And I would tell you, I went to the doctor, you had to take a little, thing off and whatever, and we'd talk about it. But how we respond to people who are different, it's one of the ways that we can fill buckets. I've talked about bucket filling a lot. Where we have this invisible bucket where we keep all the good thoughts and feelings we have about ourselves. If people make fun of us because we're different, like if I was in 4th grade and I went to school and everybody was laughing at me because I had, yellow Band-Aid on, that might make me feel not so great, right? And of course, the funny thing is, after a while, you just don't even see the Band-Aid anymore. Of course, I keep talking about it, so you're going to keep seeing it. But how we respond and how we treat people who are different, it's a real sweet thing we can do, right? We can fill people's buckets. You know, when somebody comes into a room and they're new, they're a stranger coming into the room, they don't know anybody. My favorite thing to do is to look at them and go, "Hi, how you doing?" Welcome them, right? So let's do this simple song. I don't sing this all the time, so maybe you haven't heard me do it. But it's a simple song. It's a melody, you know. And my friend Carol McLeod put new words to this. So it goes like this. Fill a bucket, fill a bucket. You can sing it back to me. Let's try it. Fill a bucket, fill a bucket. Every day, every day. I can fill a bucket, I can fill a bucket. You can too, you can too. Fill a bucket, fill a bucket. Every day, every day. I like filling buckets, I like filling buckets. You will too, you will too. Makes all the difference. When we welcome people, we compliment people, we help people out when they need a helping hand, all those things. Yeah. It's so great to have things that are different about us. Now, I said that I would share some, before we started singing, I said I was going to share some pictures from some of my travels. So let me go here. So Jan and I were invited to go to the island of Kauai, which is one of the Hawaiian islands. And, let me see. So, we went, and of course, Kauai, they call it the Garden Isle because it's so green and so beautiful. And one day we took a hike, and we started hiking up this trail through these tall trees. They're a special kind of pine tree. And here's Jan looking up. And then the trail would look like that. And what was interesting was, as we were walking along, it was kind of a funny fruity smell. Kind of like, you know, when fruit starts, you have fruit a little too long. And we looked down on the ground, and you can't see it in this picture, but there are lots of little circular fruits on the ground that were, you know, kind of turning into soil. You know, it takes a while, but, you know, and it had a funny smell to it. And up we go, and we kept going until we got up on the top and looked out. Yeah, here's another view. Yeah, look at that. From there all the way over to there. So, what I'm going to show you now, you have to see this. Wait a minute. Let me get back here. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to see, I'm going to tell you what they were. Check this out.
Strawberry guava.
Right on the trail.
Here's what it looks like inside. With the guava seeds, the big guava seeds.
And then, while you're eating it, you look out over there. That's all. We're pulling them off the trees and eating guavas all the way down. Oh, man, so much fun. Yes, 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 yes. And, oh, well, let me see. Oh, we have some notes here from people. Let me see. Wanda said she saw the Seneca Chief Canal boat in Baldwinsville celebrating 200 years on the Erie Canal. She lives in New York where the Erie Canal is. Do you know that song? I got a mule and her name is Sal. 15 miles on the Erie Canal. She's a good old worker and a good old pal. 15 miles on the Erie Canal. We've hauled some barges in our day, full of lumber, coal, and hay. And we know every inch of the way from Albany to Buffalo. Low bridge, everybody down. Low bridge, 'cause we're coming to a town. And you'll always know your neighbor, you'll always know your pal if you ever navigated on the Erie Canal. Yes, Dawn, she saw the Seneca Chief canal boat. Excellent. Dawn says hi, Ambry says hi. Mayar Badi, greetings from Slovenia in Europe. Raining here and 57 degrees. Yay. Well, let's see. Megan has something to say. Megan is 6 and wears an eye patch to school every day to make his other eye stronger. You know, you can do things when there's a little something that isn't quite right with your body. You can do things. And in this case, Gideon wears an eye patch on one of his eyes so that eye gets stronger, the one that isn't covered. And wow, he was really concerned about classmates thinking it weird. But all of the children have been so kind to him. They are usually just curious why he's wearing it. And they want to know if he's okay. That's bucket filling. That's perfect. Yay. I have one more picture to show you. This is from our yard. This is our compost pile. Now, any of you who have compost piles, you know what that is. You take soil and you take things from your kitchen that you aren't going to eat anymore. Maybe something vegetable kind of thing went bad in the fridge, or you have vegetable scraps. When you're preparing like broccoli, you cut off the hard part on the bottom. Sometimes where they originally cut it off, it gets kind of hard, and you cut that off, and it's different things that are vegetable, and you throw them into the pile with the soil and with maybe some leaves and stuff like that, and it makes really rich soil for your plants. This picture shows that we happen to throw some kind of squash, or it might be a watermelon, it could be a butternut squash, I don't know, but some seeds went in there, and look at them. They're growing. And that's really fun because we call those volunteers. You know how you go and you get like plants at the beginning of the spring, and you go to somewhere where they're selling them, and you dig a hole and you put them in the ground in your garden. Well, when they come up in the compost pile or around the garden from seeds from the plants that you had the year before, we call those volunteers. So I'm going to dig those out and put them in the garden. Southern California, it doesn't get crazy cold as we get into later fall and into the winter. And I've had tomato plants go the whole season, go through the winter and keep going fine and giving tomatoes the next year. So let's see. I know what I wanted to do because of being in Hawaii. Yes. So you guys know this song. I think you're wonderful when somebody says that to me. I feel wonderful, as wonderful can be. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. So when I was in Hawaii, on the island of Kauai, I got to sing that chorus in Hawaiian to people who that's their first language, Hawaiian. And it goes something like this. Kupaya nahano e la haie hai mai ai. Komo I ke kupaya naha same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. Yay! I do. I think you're wonderful. You have a light shining in you. And, sometimes we might forget it, but the truth is it's there. It's always there. Yes. So, it's funny. I have some important business meetings on Zoom today. I'm going to wear this one. I'm not going to change it. I'm going to wear my yellow Band-Aid. You think that's the right thing to do? I do. Let's all have a laugh. Right? You have a wonderful day. I'll see you in 2 weeks. And get outside, see what's going on. There's a lot going on always out there. The trees and the critters and the bugs. Yeah, see what's going on. I love you. Bye-bye.